Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. All right. I'm just making sure my mic is connected. I have a habit of not having my electronics proper. Okay. Anyways, how are you guys doing? How is everything? Hi, Chantel. Hi, Senia. Hello, gays. Hi, Lexi. Okay, guys, let's get started. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and I heard tide is turning. Your luck is coming in. I like that. Hi, Anshel. I like that. Personally, I'm like, yes. 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 Yes, absolutely. Oof. Oof. Okay. Here goes. This is the final deck that I'm pulling from. Ooh, the boost that you've been waiting for. I just got a notification. Hold on. Let me see what it says. Act fast and take advantage. The boost that you have been waiting for is here. Yeah. Hell yeah. That was aggressive. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Oh my gosh. The energy is like, the energy feels very ripe for amazing things to happen. And I hope, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go out on a limb. This better not bite me in the ass. Okay. This better not bite me in the ass. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm just going to be like, I'm claiming this reading before I even start. I'm just going to claim it. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you want to claim it too. All right. I'm claiming this. I don't even know where it's going. But dang it, it's going to go somewhere good because I said so. I never say that. I don't say that to my kids either. The whole like, because I said so. My kids would look at me sideways like, right? So I'm going to claim this. I hope you guys go out on a limb for yourselves and claim this as well. Let's get started. All right. Mm-hmm. Ooh, yes. Ooh. I'm saying I'm claiming this. There are things that you kind of like situations where either you or someone else you got something twisted all up in your head. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's a little bit of a need for you to recognize what you did. You got something kind of twisted in your head. um Maybe it's about the way you connect with another person. Maybe it's someone else that got things twisted about you, about what you are, how you are, who you are, what you're capable of. You a little baddie, baby. You're just a little baddie. Oh my God. Speaking of baddie, I was at the gym earlier and today's leg day. And so, your girl goes hard on leg day. And this guy who works out, he's an older gentleman and he be ego lifting all the time, right? Yeah, I'm totally talking shit. But he does. He totally ego lifts all the time. He'd be throwing weights and just craziness. And I was in the middle of setting up for my hip thrust, and I had just shy of 500 pounds on the bar. I'm running out of space on the bar, right? And he, he goes up to me and he goes, "Do you have enough weights? Did you need me to sit on the bar? Would that help you?" And I was just like, "I'm sorry." And he goes, How do you lift so?" And then he cut himself off and he's like, "You know what? Actually, good for you. Good job. Good for you." Hell yeah, good for me, right? When you put all of this effort, hell yeah, good for you. Hell yeah. So everything has kind of been going crazy. And for some of you, you've stayed very focused on the task at hand. You have remained focused on what needs to be done. You have shown up and shown up and shown up, and people are noticing. Mhm, mhm. They're noticing. Let them notice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Him saying that to me, I'm just like, okay, join the line of older guys who can't believe that little ass me could do that, but I can. And so what? A hella defined. So what? Right? Just because other people cannot fathom the fact that you live in a limitless way. Ooh, let them struggle with the fathoming of you. Let them struggle with it. Who cares? Keep going. Keep going. I didn't take that as a compliment. I'm sure he probably meant it as some weird ass backhanded compliment. Uh, that just sounds weird, sir. But I took it as okay. Thank you for trying to interact. I'm good getting back to my task at hand, and I looked at the bar and I was like, I could fit 6 more 45 plates on there. Once I'm fitting 10 plates on each side, 12 plates on each side. I'm not sure. That's a lot of plates. But once I can't fit any more plates on there, then I'll be satisfied. Okay? That's the goal. Loading it up with as many 45 plates that will fit on each side, doing it and continuing. That's the goal. I don't care who sees, who doesn't believe, who's impressed, what anyone else has to say. None of that matters, you guys. None of that matters. They don't know you. They don't know your history. They don't know what you've been through, what you're capable of, what you have already accomplished. I'm over here like, y'all are tripping. That's not a lot of weight. If this gym had the hip thrust machine, where it's basically like the bar is set specifically for a hip thrust and I could do full range of motion. I mean, I stopped, I think, at like 10 45 plates. 5 on each side. That was years ago. I know I could do at least that if I really want to. So it's not impressive. They don't know what you're capable of. Don't let it get to your head. Don't let other people's um, fascination with what they're seeing you accomplish get in the way of what you are actually going to accomplish. I don't take any of those compliments as a like, yeah, hell yeah. No, I'm just like, okay. I don't know if you're trying to be cute, but what do you want? I'm serious. Like, what do you want? You don't see me struggling doing it. So what do you want? What is this about? Are you just trying to be cheeky or something? I don't care. I don't care. Right? Let yourself remain focused. This tide is turning. Your luck is coming in. So don't let yourself get caught up with whatever you're imagining, whatever worst case scenario you're imagining for yourself, whatever storyline you had told yourself about why you don't deserve, why it's not going to happen. Mm-mm, mm-mm. None of that matters. You need to break up with a part of yourself that doesn't believe in you. You know what I'm saying? I laugh because there was a part of me, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was like in November, I was on here crying about like, I can't eat enough to keep up. Right? I don't know if you guys remember that. I was like, I just want to give up because this is not fair. I work so hard and my body keeps eating my muscle. Yeah, no. What happened? What's the difference between now and then? I wish I could show you guys my progression pictures, but they a little bit thirst trappy, so I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. Um, I wish I could show you my progression because something shifted in the last month that I wasn't aware of until the other day. I took some progress pics and I was like, who the what the muscle mommy is going on here? Okay, I was like, "Oh, girl. Oh, shoot. If I wasn't me, I'd be like, you could be my muscle mommy." Right? What shifted? What shifted? Because I think whatever shifted in me is probably the same thing that's shifting in you right now. So I look back and I'm like, okay, oh, I stopped tripping. I'm just like, listen, the body's gonna do what the body's gonna do. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat things that I consider dirty. It's not. I'm just gonna eat. I'm gonna track everything. If I go over, I go over. If I'm not meeting the mark, well, it is what it is. And I will figure it out tomorrow. I'm gonna stop stressing myself out. I'm gonna just work out. My body's doing whatever the hell it's doing. I'm gonna chill the F out. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. In a 3-week period, my body completely changed. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Are you at a point where you're just like, you know what? It is what it is. And whatever it is, I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm gonna stop tripping if I get only to this level, despite wanting to be at this level, you know, that's good. That's good. And then I'll work that last little bit to get to that level. Is good. I mean, let yourself have a little fun. Let yourself enjoy the experience just a little bit. Just a little bit. The tide is already turning. Whether you stress yourself out or not, the tide is already turning. That means if you just give yourself permission to flow during this period, you're going to be given everything you need to get to the next part. Those shifts in your perception, those shifts in your awareness of what you are capable of. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's amazing. It is amazing what you will recognize you are accomplishing for yourself. And the more you just allow yourself to flow, the less the effort you're putting into this will feel so inconvenient and so heavy, right? You keep forgetting about the process that you're in, about the fact that you're doing the dang thing. You are making things happen. Maybe not at the pace that you are wanting, right? Maybe not um maybe not at the level that you assumed you would be at. because there were setbacks, there were things that caused you to feel very stuck, very stagnant for a period. Now, here's the thing. Were you stuck, or were you simply paused in order to accrue more momentum, more charge, a larger load of just ferocious forward progression once you let go, right? Years ago, I made the analogy of the arrow. In order for the arrow to be launched forward further than you could ever possibly throw it with your hand, what happens? You load it onto the bow. And you don't just load it onto the bow, it needs to be pulled back. You feel like you're backsliding? You are the arrow being pulled back. However far back you pull it, the tension increases and increases and increases. And you're over here stressing out because, gosh, the tension is unbearable at this point. All you got to do is let go. You don't push the arrow forward. You simply let go. You open your hand and you let go, and it gets launched much further than you could ever throw it. Because why? Because of the loaded kinetic charge that is transferring from the bow to the arrow. And all you have to do is let go, right? Let me see. Oh, let me turn off my mic. Give me 1 second. Hmm. Okay. That's funny. Who are you addressing? Who are you addressing? Who are you addressing? You know what? I bet you're typing. Fuck you and your 3 bubbles. I don't give a shit what you have to say. Your comment reads like you've been trying to fuck around with me and you found out, huh? Huh. Hmm. How'd that feel? How'd that feel? You ain't got no fucking authority here. I'm not even going to put your comment on the screen because I'm not going to advertise for you. People be rubbed the wrong way. I haven't said nothing to nobody. I have been openly speaking out, though, about people not getting any more opportunities to be fucking around with me while I'm live streaming. Sounds like maybe you're admitting you're one of them. Ain't that some shit? Too stupid to keep your mouth fucking shut. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Lot of fucking demon whores here today. I don't play that shit. Give me 1 second. Mhm. Give me 1 second. I'm almost done, guys. There we go. So anyways, going back, um, it seems like you keep forgetting how much you've already been through, right? How much have you already been through? I know for me, I've been through a lot and I'm not in any space to be fucking around no more. To be letting people fuck around with me, try and fuck around with my energy, try and start shit. I'm not the one. I could be though. If you approach me just right, I absolutely could be. But here's the thing. You're in control of your space and your energy. See this right here? Perfect timing. Witch's hat power. When you let someone dictate to you what kind of day you're going to have because they got a shrimp dick and they're intimidated by the fact that you are fucking powerful beyond what they could comprehend. I mean, that sounds like it's an issue between you and your mama, not with me. Not with me. I got no issues. I'm having a really good day and I'm still claiming this motherfucking reading because guess what? Right at the foundation, what's coming home to me, what is being returned to my homeland is everything I've worked so hard for. And once upon a time, gave up to maintain a peace that never existed. Y'all want motherfucking war? One second. I don't want to. Give me 1 second. I want to quote this properly. I don't have it memorized. As Mr. Genghis Khan, the Khan of all Khans, once said, I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you. Let that shit sink in. Let that sink in. You know what you've been through. For me personally, I'm aware of what I have lived through in many lifetimes. Not one person through the history of my soul has been able to stop me from fucking toppling empires and standing on top of them. You better recognize what the fuck you're starting shit with. This is not 2017 Emmy anymore. This is an empress wearing fucking armor. Ready and waiting. I am reclaiming everything that is rightfully mine. Everything that has been promised to me by soul will be given back to me or taken by force by me. I will never again give up anything that was rightfully mine to begin with. I don't say this as an act of rebellion. I say this as a declaration. You want some? I will fucking give you some. How you like that? It's kind of sexy, isn't it? Little ass me, completely unafraid. I tell you, I am really liking this most authentic part of me. I am. I am really liking it. I'm liking it because I'm no longer ashamed, no longer playing small, no longer partitioning myself to the shallows. Motherfucker, I am the entire ocean. And from the depths of the trenches of my heart, I will cover the entire motherfucking shoreline with the gravity of me, and nothing will ever contain me again. Not my shame, not my guilt, not my hesitation. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the only appropriate response when some random, unknown, insignificant person tries to threaten you back into a space of smallness that you were never supposed to be in to begin with. I ain't even mad. I'm just speaking passionately. I fully claim this reading. The tide is turning. The tide is absolutely turning. And guess what? You're not going through this without the appropriate spiritual support. You are not going through this alone, uncovered, overly exposed, vulnerable, and frail. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. Not at all. Don't be scared. Rise to the challenge. Anytime soul allows you to be invited into a space of adversity, that is an indication you about to level up, baby boo. You about to level up. Here's the thing. I couldn't understand why for the last however many days, like, hot diggity damn girl, this not even about age. Why are you sleeping so much? Why are you taking all these naps? Why do you keep sleeping in? What the hell is going on? Upgrades. Upgrades. Upgrades to my operating system. All I needed was the appropriate stimulation to finally let go. And you just witnessed me letting go. Not losing control. Everything is very calculated. Everything is so meticulously planned by soul. Hold on. You know how I know I finally let go of a large portion of my hesitation? Why I know for a fact, for me personally, the tide has absolutely shifted. You know how I know? I remember the quote that I just told you guys. Hold on. I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you. All right. Why is that one of my favorite quotes? Take a guess. Take a guess. I'll tell you. Because I said that in that lifetime. I remember. Mhm. I remember. I said that. Mm. Michael says it's not enough. I'm dancing around a disclosure of fact. What I'm trying to say is, without saying, but I obviously need to say, I lived as Genghis. That's one of my past lives. Yeah. Up until maybe today, I would have never shared that. I remember exactly how I died too. I remember so many details. That was me. Mm. You see, while other people are trying to be Cleopatra in their previous lives, when I say I've lived as historical figures that have toppled kingdoms, empires, I'm very literal. The mindset of the Khan of all Khans, it still lives inside me. Don't invite that out. You won't like what happens afterwards. See, some historians try to paint Genghis as a horrible invader. No, they just couldn't stand the fact that he wasn't Anglo. That's why they wouldn't celebrate what he accomplished. Until I came across a video one day with a historian, very skilled, properly explaining Genghis Khan. And I was like, oh, shit. Yes. Holy shit. That's fucking exactly how I still am. You see, you don't start shit. He won't do shit. You try and encroach, he will raise down your entire army. He will ensure you can never rise again. He will conquer your surviving peoples and integrate them into his empire. You fuck with him or his family, he will destroy you. He never does things just for shits and giggles. He had the opportunity to invade India, yet he did not. Why? Because he respected the birthplace of spirituality. He could have taken India, the richest land, spices, and everything. He could have conquered them. He pulled back. He did not cross the river. He had no issues with India. I understand now what I need to do and how I need to be. I will no longer shy away from things that need to be addressed. I will not tolerate disrespect, nor will I waste my time with stupidity. The tide is turning. I will not allow demon whores to distract me from the task at hand. What is the task at hand? Woo! Fuck yeah. To shine in ways that I've never allowed myself to shine. That is the same task you are being given. Shine in ways you have never allowed yourself to shine. Absolutely. That is a direct instruction from soul. Direct instruction from soul. Don't be so focused on moving forward that you rush yourself through this process. When the tsunami comes, it doesn't rush because it's afraid that the villagers, the humans, the animals of the land will stop it. No, it just comes as it comes. And just like the arrow being pulled backwards, the water recedes much further than what is normal. And that is how you know the waters from the depths. They're being pulled to the surface. And there is nothing in creation that has the capacity to successfully stop it. Nothing. You can identify as a drop or the entire tsunami itself, or you can identify as the ocean, the land, and even the sky. I am a totality, not fragmented by elements and self identification with specific elements. I am the all, the everything. There is no limit. There is no limit. And I am no different than you. Just because my soul has a violent history, eh, all our souls do. Have you not noticed? Human existence is brutal. There is a brutality about humans. For whatever reason, we have allowed ourselves to be pulled from our space of centered peace and exist in a fragmented state with this mindset that brutality is the only way we can become whole. The tide has turned. That mindset is being cleared away. And whoever thinks that they're going to stand on the shoreline with their puny ass weaponry, drown in the truth. I don't give a fuck. That is your choice. Get out of the way of change or drown in it. Inhale it. Breathe it in because it's not going to be stopped. It's not. You will not be stopped. Stop allowing other people to convince you that you will be stopped, that you will be hindered, that you will be put back in a cage that is meant to confine you and prevent you from reaching your true potential. If you agree, that's the only way it can happen. If you disagree, start acting like you don't agree with what's being commanded of you. Make it clear no one has the authority to command you. You do that with your actions. Once upon a time, I would have just completely deleted that comment and kept going. No, full confrontation. How's that feel? How's that feel? To have a female put you in your place and take away your ability to even respond. How's that feel? Hmm? You thought you would jostle me and make me afraid, and I've dealt with people much more powerful than you. You're you're just obnoxious. You're like a little child having a tantrum. And me as your mother, I scolded you in front of all your friends. You were trying to play big and bad. And then your mother scolded you. Right? Right. Yeah. It's like the equivalent of you trying to be all big and bad and your mom saying, "Hey, you have shit in your diaper. We need to change your diaper. You're acting a fool and you stink." Hmm. Yeah, because nothing is going to stop me. When you stay in your own lane, guys, yeah, it's okay for you to speak up. It's absolutely okay for you to very passionately, very potently remind the demon whores they don't belong in your lane. Mhm. Swerving, acting a fool, being belligerent, trying to talk big and bad. Yeah. Not even knowing what you're capable of. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I just feel a massive callus that had developed over a lifetime of being rubbed and rubbed and rubbed wrong without responding, without doing anything to stop it, thinking that if I just stay quiet long enough, they'll stop. Now, fuck, those days are done. You will stop because I command you to stop. Mhm. I like how this feels. Being even more open, allowing more of my defiance to be seen, not as an act, not as something contrived, but just a sharing of my most powerful moments of realization, realizing the ways in which I have tried to play a small fish, knowing full fucking well I'm the entire ocean and everything in it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the trigger that has completely unzipped the part of me I kept confined. It needed to happen. It needed to. And so it did. And now I can allow myself to experience a sense of hope. What type of hope? A hope that I'll be able to do whatever profound thing my life has always been destined to do. I'm not going to question anymore the way it's going to happen, if I'll be ready in time, if I will be able to be responsible in my use of my own powers. I've always been. I have always been. And to pretend as though I'm incapable, as though I would lose control. Ugh, I'm a fucking control freak over myself. How am I ever going to lose control when I'm so fixated on being in control? Understand how you are, the way you function, these things that you're so afraid of. And you're using that as an excuse as to why you refuse to allow the tide to turn, why you refuse to allow yourself to be witnessed as the fucking powerhouse that you are. Let it go. Let it go. Let that program go. You don't have to destroy it. You don't have to fight it. You just let it go. Leave it be wherever it is. And whenever it creeps its little head up, you be like, hey, little one, do you need a snack? Do you need some juice? Do you need a nap? Okay. You can just sit back down. It's going to be okay. I'll get you a snack. Okay. No, you don't have to wild out. No, it's perfectly fine. I'm acknowledging your presence. I'm acknowledging your existence. You are still a part of me. You are not at war with me, but this is not the place for you to be. You are not to take the primary stance of our personality. No, you are a tertiary part of our character. You belong way in the back. There's a proper place for you, and it's back there. There's a seat with your name. Please have a seat. Your snack is coming. Your needs will be addressed. We don't need you at the front, right? Acknowledging all parts of you, allowing those parts to continue to exist, knowing that at some point, maybe it will need to take center stage. But until that point, that circumstance comes up, it belongs in the back. There's a seat in the back. It's not to be hated. It's not to be pushed out. It's not to be villainized. There is nothing wrong with you having that aspect. Every single part of you, every single component of your character was carefully considered by Creator. It was allowed to be a part of your character in this life because at some point it will be necessary for that part of you to step forward. Right? It's okay. You are a whole person. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Do I look ashamed for being able to speak powerfully? Being able to publicly acknowledge my divine birthright, my capacity, my lack of fear? Is that bad? It's unconventional. It's a difficult thing for many people to see. That's important to know. Why? Because it fully explains why that part of me needed to exist. Because when you see me do that, assert my dominance over my space, I don't go on other people's live streams and try and act a fool. Hell, I rarely even comment on anyone's anything, whether I agree or disagree. No, I pretty much don't comment on anything. It's very rare for me to comment. So why is it important for you guys to see it? Because it then gives you permission to be yourself. You need to be yourself. You need to allow all your parts to have permission to be a part of you. There is nothing about you need to be ashamed of. We all have a history. We all have a history. And that history is what's cultivated the parts of you that are being prepared still by soul to take your proper place. Your destiny is about to be fulfilled. This is the first parts of it. This is why the tide is turning. This is why your luck is coming in. You know what your luck is? Your luck is made of all the divine gifts that Creator has set aside for you. It's not something you have to earn. It's something that was set aside just for you, waiting for you to be able, willing, and ready to accept it. I'm still the same person, but now I'm slightly different. Why? How? I let go. I took off the compression suit that has forced me into a shape that's not too far off of my original form, yet not quite fully my authentic self. Like, dip your thoughts in that sauce a couple times. Take a nibble from it and see how beautifully seasoned that flavor is. The ways in which you've been trying to conform, wearing compression suits to try and fit in to social environments. I mean, it's you, but it's not fully your authentic form, your most authentic form, right? So this tide turning, it's basically you being invited, being lured in by soul to fall deeper in love with who you actually are. Mm. Mm. That's emotional because it brings my mind to a space of recognition of how little I've loved myself for so long. That's changing, it is. But to become aware, Mhm. Mm. The things I've allowed people to get away with. Such a betrayal to self. No more. No more. And my eyes are watery, not because I'm sad. It initiated with a sense of hurt, a sense of self betrayal. And it quickly was transmuted to just a release of the need to feel ashamed because I didn't know any better. I wasn't expected to do any better. That's okay. I know better now. And I'm holding myself to a whole different standard. And that is what's caused the tide to turn. Ooh, hot diggity damn. Mm, damn. Well, even if I knew it back then, I didn't have the intellectual and emotional maturity to be able to wield that with the grace that is necessary, with the level of grace I have for myself now. I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, I look back at my life, and at no point did I have ever, ever have anything to be ashamed of. And then I found myself thinking, I wish I knew that then, but I didn't have the maturity then. I had to go through quite a bit to develop the maturity. So, do I need to be ashamed? Do I need to feel guilty? Do I need to admonish myself with these thoughts of, I should have pushed, I should have learned, I should have known, I should have this, I should have. No, I wasn't ready. Just like the plant needs the appropriate seasons, the appropriate conditions to blossom beautifully. If it is the wrong season, if it does not have the appropriate conditions, do you shame the plant for not producing blossoms? Or do you simply accept it's not yet time? It's not yet time. The proper season with the proper temperature and the proper conditions is coming. Be patient. Be patient. Just like you cannot force the ocean to be high tide when it is low tide. You cannot force the ocean to not produce a tsunami when the plates are shifting. You simply accept what is and prepare for what is coming. That is all you're being asked to do. Accept what is and prepare for what is coming. You have to stop not walking in your truth. That's a process. You're capable of getting through that entire process. You have to let go of this expectation that the only way you can do this is if you are fearless. That is wrong. Well, but Emmy, what if I'm afraid? Then hold yourself tighter and keep going anyways. The concept of fearlessness, it gives us this impression that if you have any grain of fear within you, then it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. The goal is to simply have less fear than you do concentrations of courage. Courage has nothing to do with the absence of fear. Courage has everything to do with what you are willing to do while feeling afraid. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. You know, fear is one of the last vestiges of our history as a newly created species. We're still a very young species in the grand scheme of things. We are a very young species, newly created. And so fear was part of the program that kept us alive. It's part of our survival instinct. You might wonder, well, I mean, what? Well, fear serves a purpose. It brings your attention to the things that need your attention. But rather than paying attention, we've learned to completely disregard, ignore, pretend, avoid, right? Don't do that anymore. Whenever I feel afraid, I think to myself, okay, big shit's about to pop off. Big shit is about to pop off. Something massive is about to happen. And everything that happens, always at the end of that experience, it always is in my favor. Always. Always. I may not understand it right away. I may not accept it right away. But when I give myself time to process, everything has worked in my favor. Not because I plotted and schemed and used people and trampled over others and no. Because I showed up even though I was afraid. It worked out. It worked out in my favor because I always will dig deeper in that trench of courage, right? When you don't know how to retrieve your courage, when you are deficient in your courage, courage becomes so much more precious, so much more valuable. It becomes like a jewel buried deep in the earth. You don't know where it is, but if you keep digging, eventually you'll find it and you'll hold it like a treasure. Tide is turning. You don't have to allow your fear to cripple you anymore. Everything that you've been holding on to, everything that you've been trying to say is who you are, how you are, that's being washed away. The tide is taking it out to sea. It's gone. It's going to be consumed by the ocean. It's going to be diluted and consumed, and you don't have to worry about those things. Those are things that are being phased out. Let it be phased out. Stop holding on to it. Stop holding on to it. Allow the promise that is being presented to you through your life experiences right now and in the very near future. Allow that to jog your memory about what you are here to accomplish and the ways in which life, soul, creator, and the rest of creation is creating the circumstance and opportunities to make this possible for you. What does that mean? Okay, well, if you are destined to be a very successful business person, owning your own business, but right now you're working a 9 to 5 for someone else, being treated poorly, being undervalued, underpaid, overworked, you don't want to let that go. You're holding on to it. You're holding on to it for dear life. And then here comes circumstance. You lose your job. You get laid off. That's traumatic. That's not something you're going to celebrate. How could you? How could you celebrate that? That's a massive sense of loss. That will create a lot of very disruptive emotions and thoughts to rush forward. And that is understandable. But do you see how life has just created the opportunity for you to take that step towards what you are destined to do? Now you have the time to cultivate what needs to be cultivated. And because of the loss of income, now you have the hunger to do it. You're uncomfortable. You don't want to stay there too long. You got to make something happen. You see how beautiful that is planned by soul. That is a beautiful shifting of tides. That is a beautiful, beautiful redirection from soul. We don't see it as that, though. Understandably so. It's very understandable to see it as a very negative thing because it feels negative. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of tension that builds up because the fear, what's going to happen? This is such a backslide. Oh my God, I was doing so well. I was paying off my bills. And then I lost my job and now I'm sliding backwards. Honey, you're not sliding backwards. You are the arrow intentionally being pulled back to load a charge in order to amplify your forward trajectory. Focus on what you're aiming for. And when you can't hold the tension any longer, open your hand and let go. Allow life to happen. People have asked me, I mean, how did you get into what you're doing now? Shitty circumstance. Shitty circumstance. I'm not joking. So I have a 20-something-year-old adult son. My oldest is in his 20s. Since I got pregnant with him, I've been a stay-at-home mom. Haven't worked. My husband's taken care of everything, and I just take care of the family in the house. And it's worked. And then one thing after another happened. And In comes 2016, where a whole bunch of really fucked up shit happened. Really fucked up shit, culminating in my parking lot pimping days. Not an actual pimp, but we were stuck in a parking lot for quite some time. Because guess what? All y'all love Michael, huh? Archangel Michael, y'all love him. You love it when he pops in and says what he says. That motherfucker broke my RV brakes intentionally, stranding me on a mountaintop. He stranded me and my family in a parking lot in northern Colorado. That was the impetus that started it. And I just kept live streaming with no intention of ever becoming any type of public figure. I was just like, well, maybe if I just live stream, this mofo will chill the F out. He'll stop breaking my things. And, life will kind of just go on. And life went on. That was the tectonic plate shifting. And that shift is what invited the tsunami of change. I used to do all this work completely for free for people who didn't appreciate me and treated me like shit. Literally, 24 hours a day. I would sleep maybe 2 hours. Mind you, I was stuck in a parking lot, wasn't charging anyone anything. Until one day, someone who had always been very, very nice to me, like very, very nice. I actually considered that person a Facebook friend. He starts telling me about some of his symptoms, and I'm like, you got a parasite. You have a latching. You need an extraction. And then he starts telling me about how he can feel it biting his face, and he kind of likes it. It's funny to him, and I'm like, okay, well, if you want an extraction, you can go to my website and get one from there. Because Michael told me to make a website, but I never told anyone about it. And the guy just says, oh, yeah, sure, okay. And then the very next day, I see that he has made quite a few posts, saying I'm a money hungry bitch. Now, that's what triggered my thoughts. Why the fuck am I doing all of this shit for free for all of these random ass people? And my husband leaves us every day in the parking lot to go work. So I could do this for free for ungrateful motherfucking assholes? What the fuck am I doing? That was the start of it. It's always the demon whore people that invite me to rise higher and sit more deeply in the center of my truth. It was that day I decided, no, people are going to be charged now. I'm not going to do that anymore. No, no, no more. That is not fair. What is not fair? It is not fair to ask my husband to forego a close relationship with his sons so I could do this for free for people who don't understand the value of what I'm giving. Freely giving. And so now I do this work. My husband helps me. He doesn't work outside of the home anymore. And our children have their father anytime they want, which is all the time. My family is very close with each other. I will never again, never again ask my family to sacrifice what is the most sacred to us to accommodate people who don't understand and don't care to understand the gravity of what I gift openly, freely. Never again. Never again. Allow the challenges of life to be the very thing that inspires you to change the things that need to be changed. The tide is turning and you're fighting it. You're fighting it for what reason? Because what people might think of you? They were thinking that already anyways. Whatever you're afraid they're going to say if you don't do what they don't even have the courage to ask you to do, they just try and coerce you. Emotional manipulation. They were going to say those bad things about you anyways, no matter how much you gave. I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way. Right? So, free spirit. Will you allow yourself to rise? Using your passion as the very fire to heat the air that will take you higher? Or will you refuse this process and end up becoming the phoenix? You see, everything had to burn down before the phoenix could rise from the ash. It wasn't stipulated what had to burn. Something had to burn in order for a phoenix to rise from the ashes. Anything could rise from ash. What makes a phoenix is the fact that she no longer has fear of what will be destroyed, deconstructed, removed from her way, so that she can continue forward. Both are valid ways to approach this. But are you willing to have things destroyed in order for you to submit fully to the will of soul? The tide has turned. You can't stop it anymore. These changes will happen. It doesn't need your consent as a human being. See, that's one of the falsities that we are taught in spiritual circles. You have divine free will. As a soul, yes. As a human, you have free will to a certain extent. You have the authority to choose the option that you will live through. The way you're going to learn the lesson, that's your choice. How severe that experience will be for you, that's your choice. But you don't get to choose whether or not you will experience the lesson that is teaching you what is needing to be learned. This is where you're at right now. You can choose to flow with it, see where it takes you. You will have some challenges. You'll have some adversity. You might shed a tear or two, but that's nowhere near fighting it, trying to scramble the other way, standing at the receded shoreline, screaming to the ocean, I command you to not come here. Okay. The ocean is your energy. You're not going to drown in it. Your lungs are going to burn. You're going to be thrown about. You're going to be commingled with all of the unnecessary destruction. Um, I mean, if that's how you want to experience it, I mean, you're free to experience it that way. I wouldn't recommend that, but when you experience it that way, um, it amplifies the lesson and it increases the potentiality. It elevates and increases the potentiality you can reach. I have a tendency to learn that way. So I'm not even going to shame you guys. I'm just saying you don't have to learn that way. Most times I don't realize there are other options. I always just have this knee jerk reaction of selecting the most difficult fucking way to learn things. That's okay. That is the sole reason every single thing that I have learned in life, I have learned at the maximum degree of benefit, the maximum degree of cultivation of gifts and potential. It sucked. It has. It has greatly sucked. But it's also so beautiful. And looking back, with my vision 2020, no more distortions from the emotions that arise as you live through it, zoomed in, using a macro lens to view your life. I'm now zoomed out and seeing the big picture, and I'm like, oh, well, that was an adventure. That was very fascinating. It was interesting. I see now there were other options, but shit, I learned some good stuff. I learned some really good things. It's really, really helped me, right? Like, really, really helped me. There's no right or wrong in your life. There's no right or wrong thing. There's no mistakes. There's no missed opportunities. There are simply options to choose. And those are the causations of life. And once you select the causation, naturally, you will then have to live through the effects, the byproduct, the end result. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about learning. The tide is changing. Learn everything you need to learn about yourself and then do something powerful with that. And I don't mean do something powerful as in, take advantage of people, social climb, sabotage others so you can get ahead. No, that's like insecurity, nonsensical, weak people, cowardly shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, stay in your own lane. Keep going. See where that road takes you. Allow yourself to really experience the gravity of you for once. I mean, mm, 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 mm. It's powerful. It's a very powerful thing that we are being given the opportunity to experience. And you've either begun the experience already or in the early stages of it, or it's about to make its presence known. Nervous laughter. Intuition sigil. You're going to be receiving messages from soul, intuitive messages that are going to guide you through the things you need to do, right? If you listen, you'll get through it perfectly fine. Easy peasy, right? Easy peasy. If you don't listen, you will end up being upside down in your perception, right? If you have still this proclivity to live life from a victim mindset, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're drama. It means this now needs to be corrected, right? That's all it means. If there are aspects of you that you suddenly become aware of that you're not happy with, why attack yourself? Why degrade yourself? Whether it's silently inside or you going around talking shit about yourself to other people, I mean, it's not good. What is that going to accomplish? Nothing. If you don't like aspects of yourself, pause, take a deep breath in, and formulate a plan that's injected with compassion for self of how you're going to shift those little quirks. They're just little quirks. That part of you needs to exist, but it's not being used in the right way. And that's why it's becoming harmful. It's becoming detrimental to your perception of yourself, right? You guys who were here when there was, a little bit of wannabe drama happening in the comments earlier in this video, uh, you saw me allow an aspect of myself to come forward and be like, nah, nah, absolutely not. No. Right? Do I need to remain in that angry, aggressive? No. It came out for as long as it needed to be out. It was processed. It's done. Something beautiful came from it. I allowed myself to open just a little bit more. I feel tremendous peace within myself for some reason. I will probably need the next couple days to better understand where this tremendous sense of internal peace is coming from. Like a deeper reserve of peace has been allowed to be accessed by me. And I'm kind of just sitting there in it. Like, what did I ever do to deserve this? You just opened yourself a little more. That's it. It was waiting for you this whole time. You've been sitting in the lobby, afraid to open the door. And then you finally got triggered to open the door. And when you opened the door, you saw a beautiful, luxurious setup of where you can sit and enjoy the beauty of who you are, the peace that lives inside you. Why didn't I open the door earlier? Well, because I wasn't ready. I was nervous. I had anxiety. For what? Fuck if I know. I don't know. I don't know. Do I need to know? When I need to know, then I'll have the reason as to why. Until I have the answer as to why I felt that, I don't really need to know. I think I just need to experience the afterglow of everything, be present in that, right? There are no traps. You think that the doors that soul is trying to open for you, it's a trap. It's not. It's not. Open the doors. There's no trap. All there is the next part of what soul wants you to experience. That's all there is. The parts of you that you feel separate from you, it's time to bring those parts back home. It's time to allow yourself to really be in a space of just breathing, flowing, receiving back the parts of your character that maybe you were ashamed of because you didn't know how to utilize it, right? You didn't know what it needed to exist for. And I think this period that you're entering into, you're about to find out why those parts of you exist. You're about to find your voice. You're about to find your legs. You're about to find your spine. And you're about to use all of that and be like, no more. You are going to be reborn from shadow. Shadow being the space where your soul has hidden, stored the most powerful parts of you. Why in the shadow? Emmy, are you talking about demons? No, no. I'm not. I'm not. I'm talking about the most powerful parts of you. The reason it's stored in the shadow, it took me a while to realize this. Sorry, my lips are getting dry. Excuse me. The reason the most powerful parts of you are stored in the shadow is because, again, our survival instinct, fear. Um, Most people are afraid of the dark because, as part of our history as a newly created species, we were very low in the pecking order. We didn't have the claws, we didn't have the fangs, we didn't have the thick fur that helps to protect our skin. We were just, naked little monkeys. It's true. Hairless little monkeys full of anxiety. And what happened? We intrinsically were afraid of the dark because what? Well, because there's a lot of things that hunt at the night times in the dark, things we can't properly defend ourselves from. So we learn to fear it. And that's why soul has hidden the most powerful parts of you in your shadow. Until you get to a space of first developing the intellectual maturity that will then gift you the opportunity to further cultivate the emotional maturity after, you wouldn't dare enter into those spaces. You need both the intellectual and emotional maturity to enter into those spaces, to retrieve those gifts that are waiting for you and wield them with responsibility and care. It's a very beautiful system that soul created. It encourages growth. It encourages the further cultivation of your courage, and it slowly erodes the fear that prevents you from going deeper into the shadows. I'm not talking about demonic things. Shadow is not intrinsically evil. It's not. It's just the other end of the spectrum. Hmm. We live on a plane of existence that has a spectrum, right? It's just the other end of the spectrum. You're not intrinsically evil. So, part of what you're going to recover is something from a past life, abilities, memories. Ooh, is that why Genghis came up? He was so strategic. Oh my God. His tactical nature was just amazing. It's fucking impressive. He did fuck up a lot of people, but they were trying to fuck him up too. So, it's kind of one of those things. It was just kind of one of those things, right? Is that why? I'm asking you. Michael goes, who are you asking? The only one in the room with me, you. He says, yes. That's his answer. Okay. It was good talking to you. Anyways, so yeah, no, some of your past life stuff is going to be coming forward. You might not be, completely cognitive of what that past life is or your name in that past life. You don't need to. You don't necessarily need to. What you need is to allow yourself to go through the process to retrieve what is rightfully for you, right? What is rightfully for you? Some of you are about to be shook like a shake weight. No, I wouldn't put my hands on you. Some some of you are in this space of like, oh, someone else could use that. Someone else needs that more than me. No, the fuck they don't. They have the circumstance they have because that circumstance that they are possibly struggling through is cultivating the parts of them that need to be cultivated. Stop with the martyrdom. You have to stop with the martyrdom. What is for you is for you. When you start with the martyrdom, you reject parts of yourself. As you reject, push away these parts of you, you create a void within your auric space. People have asked me for many years, how do parasites get in us anyways? Like, how does that happen? You rejected yourself. There was a void that existed because of your self rejection. Creation doesn't like voids. So what happens? If you don't fill that void with something, something will fill that void with itself. That's how you get parasites. That's how you get parasites. That's how. Rejecting yourself, rejecting the gifts that creation is trying to give you, that your soul has already asked permission to set aside for you. That's not for someone else. That is not for someone else. Just because you reject it does not mean it's going to be given to someone else. You don't have that kind of authority. I've tried. I'm so serious. I've tried. I had associates that I was trying to give them parts of my destined path, my divine purpose. You know what ended up happening? A shit ton of fucking drama that was so unnecessary. Well, it was necessary because I needed to learn it. But had I allowed myself to just accept this, I wouldn't have had to go through that, making it unnecessary. So I guess because of me and my resistance to the lesson at hand, it became necessary to learn it in that way. Yeah, no, they really thought that the fragments of my destined path that I was shoving to them, like, here, take this, have it. They thought it was theirs. And then it didn't take long for them to think erroneously, erroneously think that if we just get rid of her, if we turn everyone against her, then we'll have everything. And you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. I walked away. I was just like, okay, well, fuck, you're tripping. Shit. Just have the whole fucking platform. Like, you want it so bad. Like, you want to be famous and shit so bad. Just have the whole fucking platform. I'll figure something else out. And then what happened? And then I got accused of trying to turn clients against them and taking their business. Oh, you mean all the people I sent you because my schedule was so packed and I was teaching you about energy work? Those people? The people who trusted you because I told them to trust you? Those people? The people who I didn't say shit to about what the fuck you were doing to me? Those people? The people who witnessed you entering into your demon era, and then were like, okay, this is like, where the fuck did Emmy go? Because I'm not feeling safe with this shit. Those people? I owe my old associates an apology. I'm very sorry that I coerced you into believing what was rightfully mine could be given to you, or that you had the authority and the power to strong arm it out of my hands and make it your own. I'm very sorry that you felt really stupid when you realized you'd never shut me up, you'd never make me go away. I'm really sorry that I allowed myself to play small in your presence so as to not make you uncomfortable, and that gave you a very convoluted sense that you could actually do something to me. I'm sorry. I should have never hid who I actually am and the true gravity of me. Because had I at least felt comfortable showing you that in private, you would have known to just stay in your lane and be grateful that I'm sharing and sending clients to you. And maybe we could have still been friends. Or maybe that's me still being delusional, because you are who you are, a greedy ass motherfucking bastard. eager to stab people in the back because you know there's no other way for you to get ahead. I don't think any of that is my problem at this point. I think I'm very happy in where I'm at. And the tide is changing, it's only going to increase and amplify. And I have done as much as I possibly can up to this point to prepare my own psychology, to give myself permission to step further into the light, to begin really allowing myself to be seen, and to no longer stop it, no longer hide, no longer play a more limited, shrunk down version of myself, just to make people like that feel more comfortable. Like I said, I'm not taking any more shit. I will not allow any more distractions. And whatever needs to be corrected will absolutely be corrected right then and there. I will not allow things to fester. I will not pollute the waters of my ocean. Nor will I very stupidly try and hold back the tsunami of change that I was created to ride on top of. It's okay. It's okay to finally awaken to your gnosis. It's okay to finally allow your eyes to be opened to the knowing that exists within you. Do you know the difference between hope, faith, and gnosis? Hope is a positive spin on a defeatist mindset. I can't do it, but I hope something will happen so that what I'm incapable of doing can somehow miraculously come to fruition. Faith is a childhood of your human consciousness. How so? Well, faith is when you are choosing to believe in something outside of yourself because, again, you don't think you have the capacity to make things happen. Gnosis, that's you entering into the adulthood of your human consciousness. That's you beginning to realize and accept there is a fractal of creator that lives inside you. It is the very thing that fuels your biomachine called a body. So, what does that mean? It means I know I will get through whatever life brings my way. I know I will. I don't know how it will happen. I don't know all the details, but I know I will get through whatever life brings my way. There might be tears. There might be anger. There might be fear. No matter what, I will get through that because there's no other option but to. I know this. I've lived this. You've lived this. And you're now in the process of learning to know what this is. There's so much potentiality, so much amazingness, right? So much, so much. Let it happen for you. Let it happen for you. Let it be the most amazing thing you accomplish. Let it happen. Allow your faith to ripen into the gnosis that it was always destined to be. Allow it. Allow it. Guys, I'm going to be live on Sunday doing expedites. If you would like to get energy work done, please make sure you go ahead and check it out. Just click on the QR code or the link in the comments, and it will take you to my website where you can see what I have offered. I'll be going live at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I believe is the time. And it's going to be on Sunday. If you are sick and tired of people, that's a statement all on its own. I'm sick and tired of people. If you're sick and tired of people pushing their nasty ass dark intentions towards you, you need to consider joining me for my Black Magic Revocation Workshop. This is where I teach you the techniques and the principles of aura spectra bioregenesis, the energetic system that I was born into this life just knowing. I teach you how to negate the effects of black magic on your life. I teach you how to protect yourself from that kind of fuckery. Absolutely. Yeah. People think, here's the thing. People have this preconceived notion that I can only be one thing. I can only be a star seed. I can only be an energy worker. I can only this and only that. And that's not true. It's just not true. I'm none of those things, yet all of those things at the same time, simultaneously, all of those things. Yes. I have memories of writing the grimoires. They do. I was present at the inception of magical practices. I wasn't taught this. I know how to negate it because of how many lives I've lived in it. If you're ready to undo all of the darkness that someone else has pushed onto you, forget a session. Learn how to do it for yourself and keep doing it. Keep protecting yourself, your potential, your family. The light workers and healers are taking a step back this year. You must now start doing it for yourself. That is how you grow. It is not the healers and the light workers and all of that jazz giving up on you. No. Now is a time to allow you to grow your own time, your own measure. If you're more interested in strictly the energetic work or a spectra bioregenesis, check out my morphogenetic fundamentals workshop. Click on that QR code or the link in the comments. This is where I teach the energetic work that I do. It's far different from any other system. Because why? Because I remember the structure that gives you the key pass to go straight to 12D energy. That 12th dimensional energy gives you the ability to access core level self-healing. Now, this program, the Morphogenetic Fundamentals Workshop, is for self-care. It's not designed to prepare people to work on others. If you want to learn how to work on others, that's a whole different type of training. That's my certification program. You just, if you click on that QR code and then search up certification program, it's on that same website, k33academy.com. And then last but not least, if you're ready to be completely independent, have your financial independence from this system, you're tired of the mandates, you're tired of this, you're tired of that, you're ready to live in alignment between the self and the soul while earning money because it costs to exist as a human being. Check out the soul-based business mentorship. This is where we sit down, you and I, and we speak with your soul, and your soul gives the instructions as to how to make these things happen for yourself. You guys, I started my corporation in a parking lot as a homeless person. My overhead cost was $30 for a prepaid Cricket cell phone. I built a corporation that then created multiple others, including a full on church recognized by the government, all 50 states and all US territories recognize Soulwork Synergistics as a church. And from that, I also became the sitting president of a nonprofit organization. I'm a senior professor for my academy that's in the process of becoming a university. How am I doing all of this? I have no education outside of high school and some college. I have no education, no certificates, no nothing. How am I making all of this happen for myself? Because soul is instructing me on how to create a soul-based business. Your soul wants you to succeed. It wants you to succeed. I know you don't think so, but it wants you to succeed. It doesn't want you to struggle. It's when you try and do things that are not in alignment with what you are meant to actually do that you experience struggle, that your business plans eventually fail. When you have the instruction from soul, it's a very powerful, powerful opportunity. This is one of my most favorite things to share. I worked with someone very dear to me, and they left the country to go try something for business. Um, they didn't have the resume, if I remember right. They didn't have the resume to get these opportunities. They went out on a limb, and while they were there, they were in contact with me, and I was like, "No, you're supposed to be there. You're going to do big things. You're going to do really big things." And then COVID happened, and then they reached out again, and they're like, "Should I go back home?" And I was like, "For what?" "To be with my family. They need me." "They need you to do what?" "What are you going to do?" "Well, I'm going to be there." "Yeah, I mean, your mom's still going to be mad at you for leaving." You going back is not going to fix that. You going back is you doing the same excuses, the same running away from your purpose. I'm not telling you to stay, but I'm telling you why you're going back. You have to decide. And you know what happened? A couple months later, they were featured in Forbes. Forbes. Forbes magazine, they were featured. Every once in a while, we're back in touch, and I'm still giving messages from soul. And they're continuing, and they are exponentially growing in their business, a soul-based business connected with very successful people, pushing forward because part of their purpose is to also change the world. Nothing is going to stop them. Nothing. Get to a point where you can allow yourself to receive those messages from soul. And if you need some help getting there, soul-based business mentorship, perfect opportunity for you to connect, for you to receive that guidance, not from me, from your soul, and to make things happen for yourself. All that effort you put into making a corporation rich, when you could be putting that same effort and reaping all the benefits of your effort for you and your family. For me, it's a no-brainer. It's absolutely a no-brainer. That's what you deserve. You deserve that independence from a matrix that's designed to oppress you. Make it happen. And if you need me to help, click on the QR code or the link in the comment. I am more than willing to help you receive the messages from your soul. More than willing. I gotta go, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe and turn on that notification bell. I don't know if I mentioned, because I have a hamster rave in my brain. I'm going live this Sunday. Did I say that? I'm going live this Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, California time. I'm going to be doing expedites. If you would like to get something done, a reading, a scan, whatever it is, click on the QR code and go check it out. Maybe there's something there that you're drawn to. Excuse me. And let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. So I'm going to get going. I have to do my work stuff and class stuff and a whole bunch of other stuff. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. If you haven't already found me on TikTok, please go find me over there. I'm Emmy Evolving across all social media platforms. And I love you guys. I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.